What is going on, guys, and welcome to the channel. My name is Mark, I'm the Toy Sheik, and today, special little dessert brought to you by the amazing YouTube channel Open by Chance. They decided to present me with a challenge accepted, comic book style, where I got to show off 5 books from my collection that have significant meaning to me. I can't believe they shouted me out, and absolute just mad love for that, for sure. It's crazy to think that these guys are even watching my channel. They're movie stars to me. So they showed off 5 plus some bonuses. Since some of them like to bend the rules, we have rules in place for a meaning LPH, but that's just okay. So today, it took me all week, thought about it. I think I selected some really great books with some good stories to go behind them to show off to you guys. And since they decided to bend the rules a little bit, I got a bonus for you as well that we're going to show off. So very, very excited. Hope you guys are excited for some awesome comic book goodness today. And again, let me shout out Open by Chance, LPH, and David. You guys are legends. Thank you so much for choosing me for this challenge. You don't even know what that means to me. I'm very, very excited. You guys always watch the channel, and I don't know as many people as you can shout out. No one watches my channel, so I'm just gonna have to show you the books, but thank you so much for doing it, and I won't ever forget it. So let's get on with it, guys. Let's go. Hey guys, quick insert here. This was actually made in the future after I was done recording and editing. I actually did go back during the week to check out all the other channels that were tagged in this comic book community challenge. Thank you, Open by Chance. After they sent the challenge out to me, I wanted to see what the format was and what people were doing. And I did notice even the channels that didn't have as many followers still tagged people. So I just felt like an ass, and I wanted to tag at least somebody in here. Funny enough, guys, I actually don't watch comic book content on YouTube. If it was toys, Pokemon, I definitely could have gave some tags on there, but I kind of always done my own thing when it comes to comic books. So besides watching Open by Chance, because I absolutely love that channel and I watch their comic book hauls, I don't really actually get into comic book content on here. But all the channels I did check out were really, really amazing. A lot of great people, fantastic comics. I mean, there's some really, really good ones and some awesome stories. So if you guys want to follow some of the videos that were tagged in this community challenge, you'll be able to see some new channels that maybe you guys will fall in love with. Unfortunately, I didn't have 3 I can tag, but I do have one that I check out every once in a while, and I want to go ahead and shout them out as my tag, and that is going to be foreign comic expert Matthew Roybal. Absolute genius when it comes to the foreign international editions of a lot of the key issues we love and comic books in general. I've learned so much from him. I don't know if he still posts. I check out his channel every once in a while, so I know he still has it. So I'm going to go ahead and tag him in that. I've already watched pretty much every one of his videos that's on there, but he has so many good books and a lot that I haven't even seen, I'm sure, that are hiding that I would love for you guys to see. So whether it be top 5 books that have the most meaning to you or top 5 key books, if he gets this tag and wants to play along, I'd love for him to show some books to you guys so you can see some history. Really, really awesome. Every time you watch that, you just get to learn about so much lore that you never knew. So that's going to be my tag for that. Again, guys, I'm sorry I didn't have more. I hope you guys still enjoy it, and please go check out those other channels. And without further ado, let's get on with the show. Alright, so let's get into book number 1, and this is a book that has a lot of meaning to me. It goes way back, man. One of my favorite books of all time we had growing up. It's the book that's not really worth that much, but to me, it's priceless. And I still do have my original one, but this one is not. This is just one from a recent video, actually, that I showed off not too long ago, and it is the Mighty Mutanimals miniseries, issue number 3, Ninja Turtle Adventures by Archie Comic Books. This is like 91-ish. This would have came out. So this is number 3, not even the first in the series, but this is the book I remember most as a kid. Me and my brother had it. We read it so many times. I still have his cover that I always remember. It's like ripped all right here. It's barely hanging on, but I still do have that. So I have a few issues of this one, as well as this issue number 2 right here. I think I had this one and maybe he had this one, but this is the book that I remember most, like flipping through all the time and reading like a ton. So it involves this insectoid race of aliens that come to Earth to take it over because the Earth is sold by basically Satan. Noel is his name, but he looks like Satan, and he sells it to her. And then the Mutanimals, which are comprised of some of the best Ninja Turtle characters that were made. Ray Fillet, Monogecko Leatherhead, Slash, Wingnut, and then a couple of newly created characters for the comic book series. You had Jaguars, you can see here. This is a little Dreadmon, werewolf type styly guy down there. Some of my favorite characters, and definitely figures that were never made in the Ninja Turtle vintage line that needed to be. Thank you to Foot Toys. I show off Jaguar on my custom corner, and Dreadmon coming in the future by them, so stay tuned for that. Really, really awesome. But also why I love getting those characters now, because of this book and how much I absolutely love it. Some of my favorite art that does exist out there. The interior does match the exterior cover artwork by Ken Micharone and inks by Ryan Brown, who's actually the creator of the Mighty Mutanimals, as well as Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and so many figures in the vintage Ninja Turtle line that we love. All those characters, Leatherhead, Mondo Gecko, Ray Flay, all those ones. Ryan Brown, one of my favorite creators that's ever existed. So very, very cool. A book. It's not worth a lot, but it is priceless to me. Like I was saying, it's out of all my books, I will always like keep this, several copies of it, so I can just look at the one I had as a kid rolled up. Very, very cool. Absolute banger. The way he started off. Number 2. Alright, and our next book actually has a lot of meaning to me as well. Fancy that. This book goes way back to 93 to be exact, when the Power Females were out in full force. So many awesome characters to entice our little nerds' hearts. It was fantastic. I loved getting them, pissing my mom off. You know what also the thing I loved was Spawn back then. I had everything Spawn. The wall was covered in all the toys, comic books, anything Spawn I could get, I had. And when this issue came out, it blew my mind. Issue number 9, the first appearance of Angela, one of the top Power Females of that era, one of my favorites of all time. I love her character design. Even now, as she's owned by Marvel and licensing, I still love her character design. I just don't like where they went with the character. But this issue right here, this is classic right now. This was actually a big book back when I was younger as well. I remember it being on the back wall of the comic book shops. It was at the cons. I don't know. It could have been like maybe $15 to $25, who knows, maybe even more, because I did collect the figures by McFarlane, and the Angela one, some of the variants. The no panty variant went upwards of $100 back in the day. I had all those figures, and it actually wasn't until a couple years ago that I finally got the no panties version of Angela. I was so stoked. I looked for that figure everywhere when I was a kid. I had all the other variants, the repaints, Angela stuff. I never took them out of the package, so, but you can check and see. She had panties like a little pervert. We were nasty little kids back then, what can I say? We didn't get that much. We didn't have access to social media. We had our comic books. We had to take that in. Artwork on the cover by McFarlane. You guys know him, the creator of Spawn, but also this character being co-created by famous Neil Gaiman and Tom McFarlane. There was a dispute where the license was taken over to Marvel, where she's now owned. In the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, I believe she's like Spawn. She's like Thor's sister in some weird way. I don't know. I don't like where the character is now. Like I said, back then, this cover reminded me of like Red Sonja a little bit. Oh, I just love this. One of my favorites. Also a big key issue for Spawn fans. Not only is it the first appearance of Angela, but the first appearance of Callisto and Medieval Spawn, which was a fan favorite and still is today, and Callisto very integral into the Spawn storyline, so definitely a big book to have, and I can see why back then it would have been a hot book to try to get if you were into it. But man, I've had several issues of this book. I still have. I have my original. It was destroyed in the flood of 2013, so I had to get a nice crispy one to show off that sexy little Chica on this cover. Absolutely love it. One of my favorites of all time, a book that will always hold true. Woo! Definitely keep that one. She had a miniseries too. Miniseries, 3-issue. Violator as well. The top like Spawn side characters had like miniseries, and I love the Violator one too. They got a lot of nasty covers. This one, I believe, by Greg Capullo possibly, who does a lot of the artwork after this one, being by McFarlane. Capullo kind of does a lot of other Angela covers, which I do have, as well as the Marvel ones, since I do love the character still. But nothing holds a candle to that issue number 9, one of the top. So let's get into book number 3. Alright, so following along the path of those sexy ladies of the 90s, this is going to be a top one of all. That spicy ginger that stole my heart back in my Comic Nerd Days of 95 on this one. We have Dawn issue number 1. One of my favorite books of all time. This is actually the copy right here that I did buy. I wound up buying it at a con back then. This book was impossible for me to get. My mom was already pissed off enough about all the other chicas that I was getting on these covers, but this one was a top one. She really didn't want me having Dawn, so very, very excited when I got this. I always kept this book. It was involved in the flood of 2013, but oddly enough, it did survive. The whole box was submerged in water, and every other book was good, and this one wound up being one that was good. So this is the same issue right here. It's got a nice little story behind it. I do have another issue of this as well in better shape, as well as this one right here. This is the White Trash Virgin cover. Always wanted this one. I remember this picture for a really long time as well as another version called the Look Sharp edition, where she's more clothed up. Definitely going to get that one so I can get the trifecta fully set up. But all artwork and created by Joseph Michael Lisner. Absolute legend in the game, still makes Dawn today. His artwork has evolved some, so I definitely love these old school covers, and also because I wasn't allowed to like ever have them. But Dawn was always one of my favorite chicks. If you guys don't know her story, definitely a weird one for sure, but she's basically the guardian of all witches. She's immortal, she can take different shapes, and her lover is the god of death. But she was involved during the witch hunts, so she does have these teardrops to come down the left side of her face, because it was thought that only witches would cry out of your left side. Then on her arms you have her rose, and then on this side a chain, which the rose represents hell and the chain representing heaven, and they do have significance in the storyline. So really, really awesome. I love the way Lisner drew his ladies, just thick and perfect in all the right spots. I love Dawn. McFarlane made a figure of them back in the day. It was like kind of like almost like statue-like-esque with a display, but it had a little bit of articulation. Still have it today, still in the package. Still looks really, really good. It really holds up. Love Dawn. One of my favorite comic books. That's all the Power Ladies that I do have. There's no more. This is a 6-issue miniseries, and it is not her first appearance, although it is Dawn number 1. This is the first of this miniseries, and then I want to say Cry for Dawn issue number 1 in 1989 was her first appearance, which I think I have that somewhere as well. But in any case, this is the book that always held to me, because it's the one I got to swindle, sneak into my bedroom from the con. Yeah, you didn't know I got that, did you? You didn't know I got backdoored probably 15 bucks to get this from some dude as a little kid. Yeah, give me that. Look, we only had like Skinamax. We were trying to see stuff at nighttime through the TV. This is gold. This is like Victoria's Secret magazine. As a kid. Love that stuff. That shit is funny. Alright, next. So coming down to book number 4, and it's going to be by one of my favorite characters of all time, a lot of your guys as well. And of course, it is Spider-Man. Huge Spidey fan growing up, still am. Spider-Man anime series, Batman anime series, I was crushing it. Never missing an episode during the week, Saturday mornings. Had to watch them. I had all the Spider-Man comic books. I love the run by Mark Bagley at the time, probably my favorite Spider-Man run. And that issue right here that means so much to me, Spider-Man issue 363. This book right here is the 3rd appearance of Carnage, so nothing too crazy. No, issue number 363. 361 right there. First appearance of Carnage, one of my favorite books of all time. I had these books as a kid. This is actually my childhood version that I did get at the store. Water damage, it was in the flood, but I have bought another one of these since. I loved how he drew the webs. I love how he drew Venom during this time frame. It was my jam. I love this cover. Definitely a book I'll always like treasure. And I won't say it's like my favorite Spider-Man cover, because there are a few big Spider-Man books that I didn't want to put into this list, because I am saving them to show off to you guys in future videos. I haven't even had a chance to look at them, but they're definitely some of my favorite books, and they have memories associated with them, so they'll be making an appearance in the future sometime, I'm sure. But for now, the books and stuff that I do have and currently are out and about, this one definitely is one of the top books ever. I will never forget this cover, and man, I read this book so many times. The artwork inside of it matches the exterior as well, but I was a gem to me, for sure, for sure. So very, very nice. On to that last book. Right now, it's a banger. Very, very excited to share this one with you guys. One of my crown pieces. Let's go. All right, and our last book coming all the way from Mexico. This is a foreign issue, very much into international books. And this one is definitely a rare, scarce one you don't see very often. Following along the lines of that SpiderMan 363 from America, you're gonna get it all the way from old school Mexicano, baby. El Sorprendente Hombre Rana, issue number 157 by La Prensa. This is that old school Spider-Man non-canon, Big Booty Gwen, BBG era, where Spider-Man marries Gwen Stacy instead of Mary Jane. Over in Mexico, they decided to go with that storyline. During the time Marvel was selling out the license to their characters with kind of not as much strict guidelines that they were keeping up on. So the character is drawn in different colors and inside. Storylines are made up, and like I said, he is married to Gwen. So she's drawn very seductively on a lot of these covers. There's covers that have blood shown first on comic books, as well as just having this nice thick Gwen. Any of the covers that do have her on there definitely fetch more collectability and desire. This one I really, really loved. Out of them, I had to select which cover I'd like to get because I never thought I would have one, but I do love that old school like 1950s sci-fi aliens mixed with like Spider-Man, and of course you got Gwen on there. He's saving. This is a very, very iconic piece for me. I remember seeing it on another OG YouTuber, Matt Hunter, huge toy guy, and he had a couple videos where he was talking to the people who actually had a hand in creating those La Prensa comic books back in the day, and I learned so much from those videos. Got to see some of the titles. There's actually a very, very coveted book, very sought after issue where Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker get married on a cover, kind of like the Peter Parker Mary Jane cover that we have over here. But that one very often duplicated, but never worth as much as the original. Very, very hard to find if you can get it. I knew I'd never get that one, so I did select this. One day, someone decided to put up their collection of La Prensas, and I was able to get this one. It was, at the time, the most expensive comic book that I ever bought, and kind of set the threshold for what my top would be, and that's pretty much still to today. So beyond just like the price of it, the history and whatnot, if you learn about the non-canon Spider-Man series that did come out, as well as a lot of the other foreign Spider-Man books that were released all over the world. It's such a fascinating addition to the lore of Spider-Man, and to just give you some awesomeness that you don't get to see in other people's collections or even knew was out there. So any of the Prensa books, you gotta get with them. They're very, very awesome. Definitely gotta get this in acrylic. Keep the historical. I love talking about the El Sorprendente Hombre Rana Rana books. Very, very cool. So super awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing that rare little gem right there. So cool. I got one more for you. I got one more bonus for you, baby. Let's go. All right, guys, so into the bonus content. This is a set of books. I did want to put it on the list because it is one of the most sentimental, influential books to me growing up. Ones I always have wanted in my collection, and it is my favorite storyline of this character. But since it was a set of books, I didn't want to put it on the list since I was trying to select individual books. But following along the lines of that Spidey 363, we're gonna bring to you another amazing Spider-Man run, and it is Maximum Carnage, a 14-part mini-series. I don't know if that's a mini, it's like a medium series, but a 14-part series that came out in the 90s, maybe 93. It ran for like a few months, I do believe, bobbing and weaving through all the different Spider-Man titles. You had the Spider-Man Unlimited, which is issue number 1 to start off the 14-part series. This is like an annual Spider-Man story, so nice and thick. It also is the first appearance of Shriek, who is going to be basically the Harley Quinn to Carnage, if you will. So a lot of different artists did covers on these ones. You got the Mark Bagley Spider-Man artwork in there as well on some of the books, but it did go through all the different storylines. So we got Amazing Spider-Man. You had a bunch of team ups with villains and heroes. I love all the villains in the Maximum Carnage storyline. I do collect the Marvel Legends figures, just the Marvel Legends figures of the Maximum Carnage, so I can try to put a display of those characters together eventually. It's got Demo Goblin, it's got Doppelganger. I absolutely love those guys. Tons of Venom in here when he was at his best going up against Carnage. They're trying to track him down and take out Carnage while he's building his own team of baddies to go against the heroes. Absolutely amazing. So you had Amazing Spider-Man, you had Spectacular Spider-Man and swung through. You had Spider-Man, the normal storyline, the one that McFarlane used to work on there, and Web of Spider-Man here. And then it ends off with Spider-Man Unlimited issue number 2, which is going to be part number 14 out of this series. These aren't all of the books. I actually am missing one issue to complete the run. I do not remember what it is right now. And the other books are somewhere to be opened up sometime when I actually get to them. But I do have most of them again. I did have all these books as a kid. Like I said, Spider-Man was my absolute jam. So I had all the books in a long box that I did wind up selling at a yard sale when I was a kid for $15. And being that I love Spider-Man so much, I have no idea why I actually did this. You're dumb, you're a kid, who knows why. But there was a lot of good bangers in there. I mean, so many. It makes me so mad. I spent basically my life chasing all those books down, which I pretty much do have all of them. But I did have all my Carnage books. My 361 was in there. All my Batman animated series comic books, my Batman Adventures, issue number 12, first Harley Quinn was in there. We actually had a couple of those ones in there. My brother had that too. But all those like books, just gone. I sold them, so I spent this whole time getting them all back. And but this is definitely my favorite Spider-Man story ever done. I wish they could actually do a movie right with this Avengers Infinity War style over a few movies, not Sony producing, building up all the characters, the villains and stuff throughout the movies, and just like just being an awesome Spider-Man story. Definitely one of my favorite stories I had to have. I have to have this one. I do have the huge trade paperback of it, the collected edition, so I'm able to actually read the story sometimes, which I do. So I don't have to touch these. And none of these are like my favorite covers, but this is one of the best stories. I was a fiend for Venom and Carnage back in the day, so I definitely wanted to share that with you guys because it is one that will always stick with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed checking out all of those comics, bonus and whatnot. And as I saw as we're talking, apparently you can see what kind of stuff I was into back then as a little nerdy. It was either Spider-Man or sexy chicks, and it's crazy. All these books are from the 90s, so it was like 93, 92, 95. So apparently that was the most influential period in my life where I got all the things that I do enjoy. Till today I'm chasing after. Oh man, it was a good time, you know. They were producing such good content out there, and now we're all chasing to get that back. So great. Thank you again. Shout out to Open by Chance, guys. Make sure you go over there, check out their video, and check out just their videos in general, what they can provide fun-wise for you guys to be entertained with. I love that they gave this challenge. Like I said, if we could do more of these, always down, toy or comic book, send it your way. I'll definitely love to join in on it. But to be given an opportunity by a channel that you look up to and have always watched and followed, it really just means a lot to me. So much appreciation. But if you guys are new and haven't ever seen the channel before, go check out the back catalog. We do all kinds of comic book stuff like you saw today, as well as doing toy stuff. So just stay tuned to the channel. If you like those kind of things, you probably find something you like. Subscribe if you think that might be something you're into, and stick around till next time. Until next time, guys, my name is Mark. I'm the Toy Sheik. Mad love, geek out. See you guys on next episode.